chapter 28. And bring you near unto you Aaron your brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for splendor and for beauty. And you shall speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a tunic of checker work, a mitre, and a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, and his sons, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And they shall take the gold, and the blue, and the purple, and the scarlet, and the fine linen. And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen, the work of the skillful workman. It shall have 2 shoulder pieces joined to the 2 ends thereof, that it may be joined together. And the skillful woven band which is upon it, wherewith to gird it on, shall be like the work thereof, and the same piece of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And you shall take 2 onyx stones, and grave on them the names of the children of Israel, 6 of their names on the one stone, and the names of the 6 that remain on the other stone, according to their birth, which the work of an engraver, with the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, shalt you engrave the 2 stones, according to the names of the children of Israel. You shall make them to be enclosed in settings of gold. And you shall put the 2 stones upon the shoulder pieces of the ephod to be stones of a memorial for the children of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. And you shall make settings of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold. Of plaited thread shalt you make them, of wreathen work, and you shall put the wreathen chains on the settings. And you shall make a breastplate of judgment, the work of the skillful workman, like the work of the ephod shalt make it. Of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen shalt you make it. 4 it shall be, and double. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span the breadth thereof. And you shall set it in settings of stones, 4 rows of stones. A row of carnelian, topaz, and smaragd shall be the first row, and the second row a carbuncle, a sapphire, and an emerald, and the third row jacinth, agate, and amethyst, and the 4th row a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be enclosed in gold in their settings. And the stones shall be according to the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, every one according to his name. They shall be for the 12 tribes. And you shall make upon the breastplate plaited chains of a wreathen work of pure gold. And you shall make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shall put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And you shall put the 2 wreathen chains of gold on the 2 rings at the ends of the breastplate, and the other 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains you shall put on the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod, in the forefront thereof. And you shall make 2 rings of gold, and you shall put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate, upon the edge thereof, which is toward the side of the ephod inward. And you shall make 2 rings of gold, and shall put them on the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod underneath the forefront thereof, close by the coupling thereof, above the skillfully woven band of the ephod. And you shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof unto the rings of the ephod with a thread of blue, that it may be upon the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and that the breastplate be not loosed from the ephod. And Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart, when he goes in unto the holy place, for a memorial before the Lord continually. And you shall put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before the Lord. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Lord continually. And you shall make the robe of the ephod all of blue, and it shall have a hole for the head in the midst thereof. It shall have a binding of woven work round about the hole of it, as it were the hole of a coat of mail, that it be not rent. And upon the skirts of it you shall make the pomegranates of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, round about the skirts thereof, and bells of gold between them round about. A golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate, upon the skirts of the robe round about. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and the sound thereof shall be heard when he goes into the holy place before the Lord, and when he comes out, that he die not. And you shall make a plate of pure gold, and engrave upon it like the engravings of a signet, holy to the Lord. And you shall put it on a thread of blue, and it shall be upon the mitre, upon the forefront of the mitre, and it shall be upon Aaron's forehead. And Aaron shall bear the iniquity committed in the holy things, which the children of Israel shall hallow, even in all their holy gifts, and it shall be always upon his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord. And you shall weave the tunic in checkered work of fine linen, and you shall make a mitre of fine linen, and you shall make a girdle, the work of the weaver, in colors. And for Aaron's sons you shall make tunics, and you shall make for them girdles, and head tires shall you make for them, for splendor and for beauty. And you shall put them upon Aaron your brother, and upon his sons with him, and shall anoint them, and consecrate them, and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And you shall make them linen breeches, to cover the flesh of their nakedness. From the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach, and they shall be upon Aaron, upon his sons, when they go in unto the tent of meeting, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die. It shall be a statute forever unto him, unto his seed after him. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. Once again, we are just continuing from the last chapter, chapter 27. Detailed instructions of not only the tent of the tabernacle, we have also the explanation of the division inside between the holy and the most holy. Now, the tabernacle being holy, and we'll find out it is within a larger court altogether. As we see, there's also, we have the establishment, you might say, of in a sense, the king's tent. This would be the courtyard of the king, and we'll find out the king's palace, and within it is the king's place and the throne where he abides. We'll find out the presence of the king exists within the ark, and inside that ark we'll find out is the commandments, or the word, the contract that the king had left to his subjects, or all those that will be subject or make themselves subject, you might say, to the rule of the king. The king is the Lord himself. And we're going to find out there's going to be those that minister, they take care of the king. The king's going to create this office next, and that's what exactly the chapter 28 is about. The Lord is actually creating a position, a position for those to take care of him, those that will minister unto him. And we're going to pick it up here in verse 1. And bring you near unto me, Aaron your brother, and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, Itamar, Aaron's sons. Now bring near, or cause these to come near. These are going to be the ones that will take up the position, as we see that office And that's basically what an office is. It's a position, and the Lord is creating it at this time. And these priests are just those that will occupy that office, and they will minister unto me, says the Lord. That's Hashem, the holy name, the presence of God himself. He's the king. And we'll find out these will be Aaron. That's the brother of Moses. As it will be stated, Aaron is Moses' brother, one who has a similar understanding. He's the light bringer. Nadab was the one who was willing. Nadab was this one, a volunteer, you might say, like the one who would be to volunteer as a soldier. And Abihu means the father of him. Eleazar is the support of the mighty one. And Ithamar is the coast of the palm trees, are like this pleasant place of those things that are correct. Aaron's sons, and they were all Aaron's sons. There was 5 in total, the 4 sons of Aaron. And Aaron, those are those that come forth from Aaron. 2, and you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for splendor and for beauty. You shall make holy garments. Garments are something that wraps around. Garment covers up that which is on the inside and makes one appear according to the way they want to appear. Here we'll find out according to the way that the Lord would expect you to appear before him. This is these garments, these holy garments. They're sanctified, separated, set aside. They belong to God. Nobody's really supposed to touch them except for those that were appointed. And that was Aaron, which was the brother of Moses, the one that was drawn out, the one that had similar understanding, the light bringer. It was for splendor and for beauty. For splendor and for beauty is to glisten. We'll find out the Lord, in a sense, made them known. They had knowledge, they had understanding. The Lord had given them that. And he was going to make an example of them, make them stand out. We'll find out this would only be in his presence, though they was not to wear these things outside of there. Because out there they would have to be known as their self. 3, you shall speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they make Aaron's garments to sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And you shall speak unto all the wise-hearted. That's the ones who have knowledge, that are gifted, you might say, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom. That means to be gifted, to have some knowledge about what you're doing. These are going to be artificers, weavers of fabrics. We'll find out those that were caused to labor and caused to work in Egypt. They had acquired great knowledge and great understandings of these skills, as well as a chance to practice these gifts. And we'll find out the Lord makes one prosper by these things or not. But these here are to make the garments, to sanctify Aaron, his sons, as well, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. That he may minister unto me. And to minister is to take care of my duties, you might say, to take care of my tasks, to be a servant, or to take up that position. He is going to assume the office, or to be the one who officiates as the priest himself, or the high priest. 4, these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod, and a robe, a tunic of checker work, a mitre, a girdle, and they shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother and his sons, that may minister unto me in the priest's office. So they're going to make these garments, these things that are going to be worn. What they're going to make is a breastplate. We're going to get an explanation of this breastplate, where it stands. It's worn over the heart, and in it we'll find out are these stones that have the names of the children of Israel on it according to their tribes and the way they were born, or the order they were born. There's going to be an ephod. An ephod is just something that wraps around and goes over the shoulders. A robe, that's going to be a outer garment, and that's like a coat. That tunic is the same as the robe. It's of a checker work. A mitre is a headdress, and a girdle. Girdle's something that's just simply worn to kind of bind all those things to get up. They shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. This is what they're for. These things will be used to minister unto the Lord in the priest's office. They wasn't ever to be worn outside the officiations of the priest's office, to make you known as, or to set you above in a public eye, but only before the Lord will find out it's a little bit of goodness. There's a little bit of badness in it, or a little bit of bad in it too. We'll find out. The Lord makes an example, and we're just simply going to get to the first examples the Lord is going to make. It's going to be a great example. 5, they shall take the gold, the blue, and the purple, and the scarlet, and the fine linen. And they shall take the gold. That's that which belongs to the Lord. The blue, that's the perfect understanding, you might say, or the good understanding that causes to grow. The purple, and the mingling in of the scarlet, the red, with this fine linen, and that's what kind of makes it up. The linen, the woven in portions is kind of what makes this up, and the blending, of course, gives us the other color. 6, and that's going to be the purple. 6, they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and purple, scarlet, fine twined linen, the work of skillful workmen. They shall make the ephod of gold. The word ephod is a girdle, and it's a girdle, we'll find out, that goes around the waist, and it wraps up and hangs over the shoulders. It's going to be used to support and to carry. It's going to be of gold, because it belongs to the Lord, and blue and scarlet. These are going to be fine twined linen, even with these threads of gold wound in. These threads of blue, these threads of purple, these threads of scarlet. It's finely woven, and it's as this linen. This work of these skillful workmen, workmen who have great skill in these manners of blending these colors to mingle it in, to cause it to have design and this great work, as we'd see when you would dye threads. It would have to be very skillful to get the colors to line up properly. 7, it shall have 2 shoulder pieces joined to the 2 ends thereof, that it may be joined together. So it's got 2 shoulder pieces on the 2 ends, and these are the ones that hang on. We witness these because they're going to have on them the responsibilities of just what this position entails. And it's on the 2 ends, so we're going to witness the 2 ends. They hang over the shoulders. That's the place where it bears it up, so that it can maybe be joined together. And it's for that purpose, you might say, to give that joining responsibility. Even in the beginning, Aaron alone would bear these things up. You shall take the 2 oink stones, engrave on them the names of the children of Israel. So now we're going to take 2 stones. These 2 stones are oinks. Oinks is something, looks like something bright green. It's been scalded or took some hot water and blanched. and left it a little pale, a little light green, you might say. Took some of the color out of it. And we'll get to witness these two stones because they are going to have on them, engraved on them, the names of the children of Israel. 6 on one side, 6 on the other, bearing up the total 12 on both shoulders, 10. 6 of their names on the one stone, and the names of the 6 that remain on the other stone according to their birth, in order. 6, because that's always going to be the work of men, and this is what they're going to do. So the responsibility of all this is going to fall upon the shoulders of Aaron, the light bringer, according to their birth, in order, with this work, 11, of an engraver in a stone, like the engravings of a signet, shalt you engrave the 2 stones according to the names of the children of Israel. You shall make them to be enclosed in settings of gold, with the work of an engraver, like the engravings of a signet. Just like the engravings of a signet is like a stamp to set your name into, and usually would be where the letters would stand out and the rest would be engraved back, so that when we go to stamp it in something, it leaves our signature. And this is the way the stones would have been done. And both of these stones, because it leaves that signature, it leaves that mark behind, in an understanding, you might say, or in a sense. In the names of these children of Israel, those that contend with the Mighty One, these ones who, we'll see, they are those of contention. It's everybody. You shall make them to be enclosed in these settings of gold. So you shall make them to be enclosed, and that's kind of like a boxed in of gold. But that belongs to God. It's going to be, they're enclosed within the law. The law is what you might say establishes them and sets them in their place. 12. You shall put the 2 stones upon the shoulder pieces of the ephod to be stones of memorial for the children of Israel, and Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. You shall put the 2 stones, and we've talked about those 2 stones that each got the names on them. They're upon the shoulder pieces of the ephod. That's what wraps around his waist, hangs over the shoulder. It's got a stone on each side. And these are going to represent his position, that he bears them upon his shoulders. They, like children, in a sense, these shoulders of responsibility. It's for memorial, to remember, memory, that you might say, to cause you to remember that this is your responsibility. 13, and you shall make settings of gold. So you're going to make settings of gold, and that's those settings of gold that contain that. And 14, 2 chains of pure gold, a plaited thread, shall you make them of wreathen work, and you shall put the wreathen chains on the settings. And these 2 chains of pure gold, 2 chains, we'll get to witness these chains. They link everything together as of this plaited thread. It's going to be a thread that's made of gold, of this, and to create a wreathen work, and that's a woven, or a work that's woven together in a sense of the chain. You shall put the wreathen chains on the settings. So these woven chains that join together these things are going to hook on these settings, even those 2 settings that are upon the ephod. As we'll see, they'll hang down and hold up the breastplate. 15, and you shall make a breastplate of judgment, the work of skillful workmen, like the work of the ephod you shall make it, of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, fine twined linen, shall you make it. And you will make a breastplate of judgment. because we'll find out the Lord put it there. This breastplate is to symbolize this judgment, and we'll find out as a memorial, to cause you to remember that you have the responsibility, and the problems they face is going to lie, and you're going to have to bear the shame and feel the pain of that responsibility. We'll find out for the Lord. The work of the skillful workman. It's like the work of the ephod. It's the same material. It looks just like it. You shall make it of gold. Because these threads of gold, even these things of God, which He has woven in, these of blue, purple, and scarlet. It's always the work of the Lord, how He assigned it to be done in the beginning. These woven understandings, even that create this royal knowledge. Those that belongs to kings, the knowledge that belongs to priests, some of the knowledge the Lord shared with you even from the beginning. It's of this fine twined linen, and that's what it's made of. 16 foursquare it shall be, and double. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span to the breadth thereof. Foursquare. It's equal in its proportions, and it shall be double, even folded in half. So it's after it's folded in half, it's foursquare. The span shall be the length of, and a span the breadth of, and that's what it's used for. The spreading of the fingers, you might say, is what a span is. It would be from the tip of the thumb to the tip of the pinky, and when you spread your hand open. So that's the greatest amount the work can cover is just that. And that's what it was determined for, to cover. A span was what it was going to be used to, was to determine how much. 17, you shall set it in settings of stones, 4 rows of stones, a row of carnelian, topaz, smaragd shall be the first row. And you shall, these stones, once again, stones, something the Lord made firm. These are going to be gems. A little, you might say, they're special stones. They're special things which the Lord establishes. We'll find out in these 4 rows of stones. 4 is always the work of God. He separates. These are the works of separation, in a sense. A row of carnelian. Carnelian is a ruby. It's red. And these, of course, are going to each one belong to the name of the children of Israel in their birth rights, according to their when they was born. And we'll find out in each one kind of giving a little bit of understanding according to the light that might come from the color of these stones. Topaz is pitta. It's the topaz. Smaragd is flashing, means flashing. And these create the first row in the beginning that would be the ones. These would represent 18 in the second row. A carbuncle, a sapphire, and an emerald. The carbuncle is known for its hardness, is kind of firmness. We're not going to cover all the meditation one could do on this right here. We're only going to touch these subjects. One must do some things for themselves as well. A sapphire is, it kind of scratches and leaves a mark. And an emerald glistens, 19. The third row is a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. And third row, of course, it completes it. The second row, as we used to, as something we should visually be able to see. An agate, or a jacinth. Jacinth I think the King James Version may say "lagir" here. It's just a precious stone. It's just a precious stone. Something known for it value probably at that time. And an agate. An agate is known for these flashings or with these streams of light. An amethyst is known as a dream stone, you might say, for its brilliance. 20. The fourth row is a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper, and they shall be enclosed in gold in their settings. And in the fourth row, of course, we'll know that's the portion the Lord has separated all these, and we can witness these in our understandings if we want to. It's simply going to be that represents the 12 tribes, or the understanding of those of Israel. But beryl is tashit, and it's that yellow stone. It kind of looks like gold, but it's not. It's a rock. Onyx, we have covered. It's that blanched stone. Some of the brilliance is taken away. It's kind of light green. Jasper is to polish, is highly polished. They shall be enclosed in this gold. Of course, that's those things of God. That always has been those things that belong to the Lord. And the law, you might say. All of it kind of goes back to the law in a sense. 21. And the stones shall be according to the names of the children of Israel. 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, every one according to his name. They shall be for the 12 tribes. These stones, all these things that are made firm, they going to represent that these 12, that's all the understanding, these ones that come forth from Israel, the one that contended with the mighty one, and men as well, according to their names, that their shems and their appearances, or you might say, like the engravings of a signet, a signature left behind, a stamp, everyone according to his name, his shem. They shall be for the 12 tribes, and they will be for the 12. And that's all the understanding. So the law can be witnessed for the tribes. We'll find out that through the dispersions of the many dispersions, the Lord's got you scattered out everywhere. Of course, we'll find out everybody. It represents everybody. It's so inclusive. We just got to put the word out, and it's those that can understand, those that can hear. 22. You shall make upon the breastplate plated chains of wreathen work of pure gold. You shall make upon the breastplate. That's that which is going to stand for judgment. And so that which holds the representation and shows the duty, the responsibility that one was given in the beginning to bear that pain with your Lord, to keep the Lord from feeling it. 23, and you shall make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shall put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And you shall make upon that breastplate these 2 rings. We'll get to witness these rings that go around these things of God. They shall put these 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. As we'll see on the corners thereof, to where we can attach it to the ephod, and not just the ephod itself, in the case of that, but according right to the settings of those 2 stones that are on the shoulders. 24, you shall put the 2 wreathen chains of gold on the 2 rings at the ends of the breastplate, and these witness these wreathen chains, these finely woven works of gold that are linked together on these 2 rings. That's these, and those witness those things that go around. All of it belongs to God. An example that's going to be a continuous example before the Lord. Even 25. The other 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains you shall make on the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod in the forefront there, in the forepart thereof. And the other 2 ends of that wreathen work, that was these wreathen chains, and we can witness both ends of the chain, because one's hooked to the responsibility as it bared on the shoulders of the ephod, and the other is on the breastplate of judgment, as it is before the heart, we'll see, of the priest, that one who occupies that position. So it becomes the responsibility, and it's right in front of you, before you, so that everyone sees that you have to bear it, and you got to take the responsibility for it. In a sense that if things get out of whack, things get out of way, that you'll be responsible, because the duty is to teach the law. And it's worn in the forepart thereof, right in front. 26, you shall make 2 rings of gold. You shall put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate, upon the edge thereof, which is toward the side of the ephod inward. You shall make 2 rings of gold. These other 2 rings of gold, witness these rings of gold, and you shall make them and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, upon the edge thereof, which is toward the side of the ephod. And that's at the bottom on the inward part. They will be 2 rings of gold on the breastplate. They're on the ephod portion. They will be attached to the ephod with threads. 27, you shall make 2 rings of gold, and shall put them on the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod. Underneath, in the fourth part thereof, close by the coupling thereof, above the skillful woven band of the ephod. You shall make these 2 rings of gold, and you shall put them on the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod underneath. So the 2 shoulder pieces, of course, we know that's where it's this weight of the breastplate is borne up. These 2 are to keep the ephod on, you might say, to hold it in place. To couple the responsibilities together, you might say, in a sense. 28, and they shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof unto the rings of the ephod with a thread of blue, that it may be upon a skillfully woven band of the ephod, that the breastplate be not loosed from the ephod. So these 2 rings that are there on the ephod and on the breastplate at the bottom with this thread of blue, that thread is that that holds it. We'll find out, so it can't be loosed from it ever. And that's that understanding the Lord gave us in the beginning, that goes around those 2 golden rings. We'll find out the Lord created these things from the beginning, and they can't be separated. That responsibility, and that from which bears it up, even in the beginning. 29, and Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplates of judgment upon his heart, when he goes in unto the holy place for a memorial before the Lord continually. Aaron shall bear the names of the children. That's the Shems. That's a responsibility. It makes them his responsibility, just like they're his children. All these of Israel on that breastplate. That's, we'll see, of judgment upon his heart. That's your knowledge. That's your understanding. You know that the responsibility of all these falls upon your shoulders. And when they go astray, we'll find out the Lord's going to hold you responsible, in a sense, even unto death. And this is when he goes in unto the holy place. That's that place that was sanctified by the Lord from the beginning. And, we'll see, it's in a sense that you're going to stand in for judgment for your brother, not in the stead of. Of course, everybody dies for their own sins, but we'll find out it's going to be, in his sense, the blood's going to be on his hands for not informing you of the law that the Lord gave us in the beginning. And it shall be forever, when he goes in unto the holy place before the Lord continually. Becomes his responsibility. Not whether it doesn't matter whether men see it in that sense or not, because it's always going to be like that before the Lord. 30. You shall put it in the breastplate of judgment, the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goes in before the Lord. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Lord continually. You shall bear the breastplate, or you shall put in the breastplate. That's where it was doubled, creating like a pouch of judgment, that pouch. And inside that pouch is the Urim and the Thummim. The Urim and the Thummim, that's those great mystical stones. These, the lights, that's the Urim. In the sense it comes from a flame, the knowledge of that the Lord holds accountable for sin and violation of the law. And the law has to be set before them even as a light and understanding in the world. The Thummim is the perfections, you might say, the knowledge to get it right. And it's in his heart, or before his heart. It's before the Lord. It's upon his heart before the Lord, I should say, as a witness, as a memorial, forever. It's your responsibility. And what happens when somebody doesn't keep up their responsibility? We'll find, my friends, everything gets out of whack. We're going to learn great lessons as we go through God's made example many times. In the end, we'll find out we have to be responsible. Well, we can't put more on one person than one person can do. 31. You shall make the robe of the ephod of olive blue, and you shall make the robe of the ephod olive blue. That's the garment. That's that outer garment of blue. Of course, it's wrapped totally, all of it, within that knowledge and that understanding the Lord gives us to help us grow. 32. It shall have a hole for the head in the midst thereof. It shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it, as it were the whole of a coat of mail, that it be not rent. It shall have a hole for the head. A hole for the head, that's this covering that the head sticks through. That's going to represent your knowledge, your understanding. It's in the midst of it. It's within it, centered, you might say, within it. It shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it. So, and this binding, or this attachment of this woven work goes around it, as it were a hole of a coat of mail. Just like it was a hole in a coat of mail. Coat of mail is like a garment of war, of protection, and it's so you can't rip it. It's so it can't be torn or in any way enlarged or rent. It's just big enough to get your head through. 33. And upon the skirts of it shalt make pomegranates of blue and of purple and of scarlet round about the skirts thereof, and bells of gold between the round about. And upon the skirt of it you shall make these pomegranates of blue and purple and of scarlet round about the skirts. So all the way around it there's going to be this ornamentation and these decorations of these pomegranates. Pomegranate is a fruit. It appears to be full of seeds. That's the only portion of the fruit that's edible. It's known for its erectness, to be straight up and down, of course, and I've many times said it's a very desirable fruit that tends to be that which is not reachable in a sense, and we'll find out even if one does reach it, it has a very limited reward. But these pomegranates of blue, of purple and scarlet, even these understandings that are mingled in with those things of men, they go around these skirts, and that's that lower portion of the garment. They have bells of gold between them round about. As we're going to see, there's going to be a bell, a pomegranate, a bell, and these bells are to make a little tingling sound Little something, something, let me know you're coming, the Lord said. 34. A golden bell and a pomegranate. A golden bell and a pomegranate upon the skirts of the robe round about. And it's a golden bell. That's a little something to ring. That belongs to God. And it's that little bell that makes that ringing sound, that little tingling sound, to give a little bit of warning, you might say, or to draw some attention to the sound. We're going to repeat that. There's a golden bell and a pomegranate. A little something to make that tingling sound about that fruit. We'll find out. The Lord created everything. It's a golden bell and a pomegranate all the way around the skirts of the robe round about. And that's that lower portion. 35. It shall be upon Aaron to minister, and the sound thereof shall be heard when he goes into the holy place before the Lord, and when he goes out, that he die not. And it shall be upon Aaron, that's the light bringer, to minister, and that's the one that's going to go in and out before the Lord, and the sound thereof shall be heard when he goes. So we'll be able to hear the sound when he moves. Now that's to remind us that he's going into the holy place. That's that place that was sanctified before the Lord. It's for him, and we'll find Aaron alone can go in to minister into there. When he comes, and his sons, when he comes in and goes out. It's to keep him so that he doesn't die. A little reminder for the Lord it's to keep a little audible sound, you might say, something to remind, something to call to attention. 36, you shall make a plate of pure gold and engrave upon it, like the engravings of a signet, holy to the Lord. And you shall take this plate, that's just a flat plate of gold, it's a pure gold, engrave upon it, it's like the engravings of that signet, so it's embossed, you might say, the background is set back, the letters are lifted up, this holy to the Lord, separated, belonging to Hashem. 37. That means it's property, merchandise in a sense, one's given to, belongs to, owned by, not as sense of owned, but in a form where one belongs wholly to the Lord, mind, body, soul. 37, you shall put it on a thread of blue, and it shall be upon the mitre, upon the forefront of the mitre it shall be. And it's like a crown. This that goes in front of the mitre. Of course, the mitre goes on first. That's a little head wrapping, a little head dress. And it's attached with these threads of blue. It's made of gold. It belongs to God anyway. These threads of blue represent even those pure understandings that cause to grow. Those understandings that belong to God. It's in the forefront or seen and represents the all your knowledge, all your understanding belongs to the Lord. 38, it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, and Aaron shall bear the iniquity. And it shall be on Aaron's forehead. It's going to be his responsibility and his understanding to make sure everybody gets the portion to maintain, in a sense. Aaron shall bear the iniquity, or those perversions committed in holy things. It's going to, once again, be his responsibility. As we'll see, in the end, everybody has got to bear their own responsibility, and everybody similar, and with the knowledge and understanding, become one that is elevated to this position, so that he may be accepted before the Lord. 39, and you shall weave the tunic in checker work of fine linen, and you shall make a mitre of fine linen, and you shall make a girdle, the work of the weaver in colors, and you shall make this tunic, this outer garment, it's woven this checker work of fine linen. A design of checkers, you might say. It's kind of like a latticed work. You shall make a mitre of fine linen. That's the head tire, wraps around. And you shall make a girdle. A girdle is like the just something that binds up, wraps around. It's the work of a weaver in colors. Colors are these appearances that are woven in various appearances. We'll find out these colors were blue, purple, and scarlet. 40. And for Aaron's sons you shall make tunics, and you shall make for them girdles, and head tires shall you make for them for splendor and for beauty. And Aaron's sons, of course those are the masculines that come forth from Aaron, you shall make tunics. That's those outer garments. You shall make for them girdles. That's to bind it up, and it wraps around them. These head tires. It's to contain their understandings as well. As you shall make for them. It's for splendor and for beauty. It's for both. To make them stand out and to shine, to be an example. We'll find to bear responsibilities as well. 41. You shall put them upon Aaron, your brother, and upon his sons with him, and shall anoint them, and consecrate them, and sanctify them, and they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And you shall put them upon Aaron, your brother. Moses' brother won a similar understanding, the light bringer. His similar understanding to the one that was drawn out. We'll find out. It's upon his sons, those that come forth from him, and you shall anoint them. It's going to be, they'll be the Messiahs. These are the ones who are anointed, and you shall consecrate them. It will be their responsibility, and sanctify them, set them aside, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. That position that God created for those that stand before Him to do what He told them to do, and that's going to be a simple thing in the end. Make sure the law's taught. 42. And you shall make them linen breeches to cover the flesh of their nakedness, from the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach. And you shall make them linen breeches to cover the flesh of their nakedness, just in case they make themselves exposed, or to expose themselves. We have these linen breeches. What we would call today, they are underwear, or a brief. It goes from the loins down to the thighs, and these loins are simply that which descends from above, that which passes it on, you might say, even unto the thighs, that where you show the strength of that which you're standing on. 43. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons when they go in unto the tent of meeting, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die. It shall be a statute forever unto him and unto his seeds after him. And they shall be upon Aaron, he's the light bringer, and upon his sons, these masculines that come forth from him, when they go into the tent of the meeting. The tent of the meeting is simply where they gather to do these services before the Lord, of course, at the appointed seasons and times. The details we're going to get into later, when they come near to the altar to minister in the holy place. That's that place that makes atonement for the sins, and to offer for these, to get the answers that was necessary to solve the problems, to minister in that holy place, that place that was set aside before the Lord in the first place. It wasn't that hard. There was a problem. They had to go to the Lord and get the answer. Of course, things are so out of whack today. I don't see, whereas the responsibilities of these things could fall upon any one person at this point, seeing that everybody is so far away in their understandings and knowledge that only the Lord could cause you to return. And it would be so these undergarments even, to keep them from sweating. You want to know, when you stand before the Lord, there's fear that they don't bear their iniquity. Iniquity is the perversions in any sense, and die, because we'll find out one must be pure in your understanding and knowledge. The Lord always has mercy. That's what these breaches are about, to cover your nakedness, because the outer garments don't mean anything to the Lord. When you come before Him, you're kind of in a position of nakedness anyway. But these would be the statutes for Aaron and his sons. They was the first ones that was going to bear these things before the Lord, kind of be responsible for everybody else. We'll find out the Lord make an example. Aaron and his sons are just going to be the first one. Of course, we'll have the king and his sons later. And then finally, we'll get down to you and your sons. Let's move forward to Exodus chapter 29. Turn and return.